Let's do a warm-up exercise. The thing where we say one word and pass it along and we'll tell a story.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you start.
I
am
a very
Jewish immigrant
from
Czechoslovakia
where I
go
to avoid.
Yeah, that was 2 words.
Alright, to avoid
a
payment plan
to
my wife
who
has my
money
yet again.
Damn.
Fuck. Okay, let's do another one.
Alright.
I was hoping you'd say my wife.
Let's see here. The
Sega Genesis
is
another video
game
problem that
I
continue to
indulge
in and
I
am very
horny
again.
again.
Oh. Okay, you start this time. Sundays are
My
most favorite
days
because I
am
a God-fearing the flow, Steven. This is improv.
I'm sorry. Agnostic.
Who loves
God-fearing.
even though
I
don't believe
in
fear
or God. That was pretty good.
That's fun.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh.
That was the sound of Febreze.
Yosh.
Energizing. Yeah, Energizer. My Febreze energy drink that I spray into my mouth.
My
It
Energizer.
freshens my insides.
The
Freshens my energy.
My Energizer battery acid. It keeps going and going through my system until I fucking die.
Straight like a drip of water down through my organs.
Disclaimer! Crossing the Line is not a show intended to bully or harass anyone. Do not go out of your way to find or mess with the authors featured on our podcast. They make what we do possible, and we love them. And you. Thanks. Enjoy.
So, Steven,
Yeah.
what is the funniest phrase you can think of? I'll start. I love the phrase man. I love the phrase man cave.
Man cave.
Just think about it. Your father leaves the garage, and mom goes, Dad's out of his man cave.
It's primal.
I thought about this because there's this woodworking man outside my work who makes signs for people,
Right.
and he made some sign, and it started like he was building the sign, and it was like being put up on this wall while he's building it, and it started with Papa apostrophe S, like Popeyes, and then it had like a little gnome man with a fishing rod,
Mm.
and then he finishes it like a week later, and it says Papa's man cave. And it's like this gnome with a fishing rod, and it's like really cute. It says Papa, and then
Took him a
man
week to write
cave.
man cave.
I guess he couldn't figure out how to finish it, and decided man cave was a good ending for that.
He didn't know what to do with Papa.
Papa's man cave.
Mm.
It's like this like primal cave where this beast resides. This man creature, this disgusting human who lives in a garage.
Mm.
Just like imagine like the dad works really hard in this entertainment center in like this room of the house, And he sets it all up, and it takes him like years to furnish and build everything from scratch. And then his wife just like jokingly refers to it as a man cave. How demeaning.
That would be fucking That would be fucking annoying.
Yeah, I'd hit my wife.
I put a lock on the door.
I put a lock on my wife.
Well, Steven, answer the question.
Oh my god. So like a phrase as in more or less a term or a collection of words?
A descriptor.
A descriptor. Oh my god, that's a tough one. Oh my god. Just a descriptive word in general?
Yeah, what is something that somebody calls something that makes you go, huh, that sounds funny? I don't know.
Oh my god. I've like literally never thought of that before. I mean, I can think of one, but it's like really cliche for me.
Go ahead.
Jewish.
Hey everybody, welcome to Crossing the Line, a fanfiction podcast where we read, review, and critique fanfiction for your listening pleasure. We've got our same three gentlemen back here as usual. Today we're doing a special Spider-Man episode since Spider-Man PS4 is so cool, and Spider-Man is on the up and up as of late.
Yosh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What is everybody's experience with Spider-Man?
A lot.
A lot? How a lot?
A lot.
When's the last time you've experienced Spider-Man before playing the new game? New as of this recording.
The comics.
Oh yeah, you read those. I haven't read any Spider-Man comics since Ultimate in the early 2000s.
They're gearing up for Spider-Geddon, the sequel to Spider-Verse.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Let's see here. Pretty much the basics, the movies, like the old, like, really cheap comics that they used to do at, like, laundromats. Because I remember my father and I, we used to go to a laundromat to do our laundry when we were, like, in an apartment back in Tennessee. And they actually gave out the original, like, Amazing Spider-Man, like, reprints. Because I remember, like, I kept getting the same copy of the friggin' Vulture one, #1. It was really funny.
I may have also had that one. It feels really weird that we would both own a Vulture comic and it not be the same one.
Right, right.
Like, just a random one.
See, that's the question I wanted to ask, Steven.
Yeah.
If you came home one day to your loving home where your parental unit lives, you came to visit him, and he was wearing a big fishbowl on his head, and he said, "Hello, Steven, welcome to Mysterio's Menace." And you said, "Dad, what are you doing?" And he waved his hands around, and smoke came up, and all of a sudden you were in some sort of dungeon. What would that dungeon consist of?
How foggy is the bowl?
It would consist of my dad's bed, my dad's dresser, my dad's still, my dad's everything. I'm pretty sure he would just push me into his room and lock the door.
He'd probably put the dog in there and then light a firecracker so it's hyped up.
The dog also has a bowl on its head.
Fucking bowl, like, I can't see where it's going.
That poor fucking thing! He's just trying to get it off, but it's glass, so his paws can't grip it.
You're just in this, like, smoke-filled room, filling your lungs, and the dog's, like, shaking its head around trying to get this ball off of its head.
He puts one of those,
And your dad's laughing outside. Welcome to my puddle. Welcome to my puzzle.
He throws a handful of those cheap smoked cherry bombs you get in the room. And they're only in there for like 40 seconds before it gets clear and it's just his room.
He's, like, wearing a bed sheet as a cape, and he's, like, throwing those little poppers at the door. And the little, like, 50-cent box
You
of
can
poppers.
barely hear them.
Oh my god.
You can't even hear them over his laughing.
I've had these poppers underneath our recording desk for months. That's what they sound like, by the way.
I hope that picked
It
up.
wasn't even, I'll do one by the mic.
Ooh, good one. I'll spike him.
Oh shit, up.
Yeah,
Finally.
That's gonna suck when I edit later.
Oh yeah.
The literal mic pop.
Dud.
Yeah, it was
Dud.
broken. No more.
Okay. I'd never had the opportunity to use these. I was really excited.
Yeah. I remember, it's like you grab the doorknob to his bathroom because his bathroom is just like in his room and whatnot. So if you grab the doorknob, it unleashes the ball pit balls that are suspended in the ceiling. It's not even like a substantial amount, just enough to like trip and fall over, enough to be convenient.
It's like one bag that from like Walmart, so there's like 80 in there.
Like 12.
And if that's not enough to stop it, he's got a creative plan where he put a pail of water above the door, and if you open it, you will pay the price.
If you open it slowly, but not too slowly.
But you'd better be careful now, because he's got one of those George Foreman skillet things attached to an outlet, like towards the corner of the ceiling. It's melting a stick of butter, and if you're not careful, it'll pour and make the fucking floor really gross.
His room floor.
He likes his carpet buttery.
But you hate it.
Yeah.
The door that leads out of the room has a bunch of mechanical mechanisms tying it off, and if you don't do the puzzle right to open, when you go to open the door, his George Foreman grill slaps down on your hand and gives you grill marks. like a shark jaw.
Oh my god. I have a reverse bear. It's just a reverse bear trap from Saw, but it's that.
It's just a George Foreman grill.
Around your head.
It flattens your head.
Puts grill marks on your face.
All the while, he's talking about how he wants pictures of SpiderMan.
Ah!
My experience with Spider-Man was playing the game on PS1, and then in graphic design class with Steven, we would watch the 70s show with
The
no
60s,
volume. The 60s
yeah.
show with no volume, and see how many animations they reused, which is like 90% of it.
It really was.
Every episode.
The same swinging animation.
If you watch old cartoons with no volume, it looks like you're working on them for real. It's the perks of college graphic design.
It's true, it's true. I especially like the one where, like, friggin' Jameson, because Jameson's expressions are so stoic and funny.
It's like 2-frame fist shake.
Like, his only means of emote, because the animation is so limited, is him constantly widening his eyes. So it'll be really funny, it'll be like shaking his fist, and all of a sudden,
His eyes pop open.
yeah.
And then all the Raimi movies from the 2000s, and then some of the games. The PS2 ones, definitely. I actually beat those and found most of the collectibles and everything. Yeah, they don't hold up that great, but they were really fun at the time. I remember trying to play it with somebody a couple of years ago, and it was really, like, not that fantastic, but now I've got a good spiritual successor to the formula, so it's okay.
Did you ever play Enter Electro?
No.
Play Enter Electro.
Okay.
Best Spider-Man game.
Okay. Is that also PS1?
Yeah.
I don't think you get the point. Saying post. It's fine, though. That'll work.
But play Enter Electro.
Okay. First fan to beat Enter Electro and post a screenshot. We'll mail you a small figurine.
Even if someone did that, they would just look up a long play, like right now.
A long play.
You gotta send me a picture with your face. And it has to be on a CRT, so I know you didn't just project it.
You have to stream the entirety of Enter Electro and then send us the stream file.
I'll watch the whole thing and give commentary and make ad revenue on YouTube off of it.
It'll be like an 1.5 hour long React video.
Right.
And me silently eating some food and drinking stuff and watching and taking monetary credit for it. Yeah, anyway, so do that.
Yeah.
With that out of the way, we got stories to read. Hey, boys.
Indeed.
Hey, boys.
Who went first last time?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't go first 2 times in a row, so that means it's my turn.
I'm very tired.
Let's see.
That's that time of the evening. Ooh.
Yes, we usually record these at night. It was worse when we first started because we didn't know to speak up, and it was also always really late, so we'd always
Right.
record them like really quietly.
Yeah.
Our bonus one coming up around the same time this will release is probably going to be a little quiet because of that. But I worked with audio. I don't want to like blast the audio and lower the quality too much, so it's kind of what you have to deal with. But it'll be fine. Let me see.
We're all drinking water to stay hydrated.
Indeed.
I'm drinking a shock top shaken with some apple cider in an old bottling container because they told me to. Well, actually, they told me to drink the shock top, and I laughed and said no, and then I poured it in my apple cider, and now I'm drinking both.
I mean, you're technically not doing what we told you to do. You mixed it with another drink.
It just tastes like apple juice now, which is fine.
But it'll get you crunk.
Right.
Whoa!
Oh shit, you okay?
No.
My pop is on.
Papa's on.
You gotta be careful with the cheese.
Okay.
Eliza, you knocked over your cider. Knocked over
It's
your
all
shock.
over the carpet, just like the butter in the improv scene.
The fucking
Oh,
shock.
yeah.
Your shock cider is just seeping into the ground.
Your dad truly is causing a Mysterio's menace.
He really is. In his fish bowl. It's not even like fucking frosted glass. It's just see-through, so it's just his head in a fucking bowl.
No, he's gotten some lit coals in there making a fog.
Making it hard for him to breathe because there's so much smoke.
That's part of the mystery. How is he still alive?
Never mind the obstacle course I have to go through. Now, Stephen, here's your final test. How can I breathe when there's no air to breathe?
I was spacing out, but I heard that last line because I was looking for my story. Okay. In a universe where Gwen got the Omnitrix instead of Ben, our young hero strives to come out of his cousin's shadow. Until one day, he discovers that he possesses a metagene. With that discovery, Ben becomes the hero that Bellwood truly needs. And I guess because
Wait.
Gwen doesn't satisfy that need. Watch out, true believers. Spider-Man is back with a vengeance.
So
Oh,
Ben
boy.
is Spider-Man, Gwen Tennyson is Ben 10, not Gwen Stacy.
Ben just like... Right.
Right.
Okay.
In the town of Bellwood, we find a family sitting by the bedside of a teenage boy. He seemed to have gotten very sick, and they were very worried.
Oh,
The boy
no.
in question looked to be about 15, with well-combed brown hair that was tousled slightly.
Can't be Ben. He's
Green-
10.
Yeah.
Green... That didn't stop the sequels from him not being and then also being much older. Green eyes that seemed to be bloodshot from the sickness, and his skin seemed to be pale. The covers were currently up to his neck, and he was shivering something fierce. This is Benjamin Kirby Tennyson.
Oh.
And is his middle name Kirby? Can we confirm this? And there was definitely something seriously wrong with him at this time. He's
Ben
the-
Tennyson?
Yeah.
Let's see.
This next phrase is really good. He's the king of kid who almost never gets sick. And yet here he is, stuck in bed with some unknown sickness.
Dying.
Sitting next to his bedside was Ben's mother, Sandra Tennyson. She was trying to comfort her son in his time of need, and seemed to know what was happening to Ben. It was a long dormant gene that had been watered down in her side of the family for over the years. It also explained why Ben had never unlocked the DNA from her husband's side of the family.
Yep, Kirby.
What?
Damn.
Yeah. It's his actual middle name.
Okay.
The story... His mom's there? That's already weird.
It said Ben. It said Ben never unlocked the DNA from her husband's side.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Interesting.
His mysterious good DNA. You see, Sandra is the descendant of a great hero from long ago, a man known as Peter Parker, aka the Amazing Spider-Man.
Ben 10 does not take place in the future.
Oh my god.
I mean, he was a hero that was bitten by a radioactive spider, giving him all the powers and abilities of a spider,
Unless they're talking about 60 Spider-Man.
except the ability to shoot web, which he did himself. Spider-Man made web fluid that was meant to be loaded into a pair of web shooters. The triggers for these shooters were located behind the palm of Peter's hand. They were placed there to prevent them from going off whenever he punched or grabbed something. Over the years, these powers became a powerful metagene that was passed down from parent to child until it watered down to the point that it wouldn't activate anymore. But it would seem that these powers were finally activating again. In Ben! But the activation process was causing the poor lad to undergo extreme amounts of physical pain.
They have to kill Dio to save him.
Yeah. Ben's
They have
mom's
to-
gonna go to
They have
Egypt.
to kill Osborn.
They have to kill Osborn because they want to.
Osborn.
Many generations old Osborn. Ben gritted his teeth and weakly opened his eyes. He looked at his mom and said, "Mom, ... it hurts." Ben groaned weakly.
Norman Osborn's decapitated head cut off Peter Parker's head and put his own head on his body.
Peter Parker died in a fucking bow holding Harry's head. Norman's head.
Sandra gently took her son's hand and gave it a gentle squeeze. She knew that the awakening would not be easy. I know, Ben, I know, but don't worry, it'll stop soon. Sandra told her son before thinking, I hope. Okay. After 2 hours of sickness and excruciating pain, Ben was finally sleeping soundly. His metagene had activated. Sandra was really happy that her son was no longer in pain, but she was still pretty worried about him. The metagene hadn't been activated since the time of his great-grandfather. She didn't know the full extent of the powers that Ben could receive. She only knew about her grandmother's spider sense, wall and roof climbing, and super strength and durability. As far as she knew, all of those that had unlocked this gene had never gained the ability to make organic webbing. Why are they so worried about the webbing thing? They all had to rely on different types of web shooters, and every time the user had set a number of web cartridges to use. It was both annoying and terrifying at the same time. Why is it terrifying? But this brought about additional questions that needed to be answered. What unique abilities would Ben gain from his metagene? How would he take the sudden changes? And would he become a superhero just like his great ancestor, Peter Parker? Sandra honestly hoped it wouldn't come to that. Being a hero had only made things difficult for Gwen due to the Omnitrix, so she knew the hardships of being a superpowered hero. If Ben were to walk down that path, that road, just what would be the outcome? She filed all those questions away for later, just sat by her son's bed. Moments where she could be the mother that Ben needed at times like this. How is he, Sandra? The elder Tennyson woman looked behind her to see her father-in-law at the door. Like many old people his age, this man had gray hair and wrinkly skin. But he also seemed to be a more active senior. He wore a red shirt with white hibiscus flowers on it, blue sacks.
I never thought I'd hear
brown
a
belt.
description of Max Tennyson.
Like, anonymously.
Right.
Who could this mysterious figure be?
A red shirt with white hibiscus flowers, blue slacks, a brown belt, and brown shoes. Were they slacks or jeans?
I think they were jeans.
I think they're like, let me see here.
Maybe it changes.
This is Maxwell Tennyson, Ben's grandfather and current leader of a galactic police force known as the Plumbers. He had gotten word from his son, Carl, that Ben was sick and came rushing over as fast as his RV could take him. Although Ben didn't look all that sick now.
Slacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's sleeping soundly now, but the symptoms started early this afternoon. I don't think we have anything to worry
they're
about.
like slacks.
Okay.
They're like just a dark color.
I don't like Alien Wars, whatever.
Yeah, Max.
Both Elder Tennysons were completely unaware that deep in Ben's subconscious, he was meeting the very man that this metagene came from, the one who had taken up his place as a spider in human form. He's gonna meet Parker like the Avatar. Or like My Hero Academia, where he meets the previous power owners.
Right? Oh my god.
All for Spider.
All for Spider. Good.
As Ben stood up, our hero noticed everything seemed to be a lot smaller than it once was. Even his pajamas felt too tight. Oh, is he gonna get jacked?
Okay, he has jeans in the newer one.
See, I got confused.
Yeah. He has jeans in the new one,
Could be
whereas
slacks.
like every other incarnation has slacks.
No.
Yeah.
We got way too invested looking at Max Tennyson's fashion.
I was fascinated, okay?
Reminds me of Sully from Uncharted.
It reminded me of his big day.
Yeah, that one's good. Check out our, was that Spyro?
That was Spyro.
Yeah, that's
Got the Spyro episode.
The critical Spyro crossover.
Where it's just Grandpa Max living his life.
It's Grandpa Max like as an actor in a cut scene from Spyro where he's just swimming in the damn
It's so
water.
weird. You'd have
Just
to like
standing in a puddle of water.
describing the cutscene.
That fanfiction gets more surreal the more you think about it. My god.
Now listen, hold on. Ben said, as he got up, things definitely seemed to have shrunk while he slept. Either that or I'm getting taller, Ben thought to himself. He walked over to the door that led to the bathroom so he could splash cold water on his face. He figured that might help him to fully wake up from the small, sickness-induced coma he'd been in. But when he reached the sink, he recoiled back and saw his reflection in the mirror above the sink. Ben had changed drastically. He had definitely gotten taller, and he now looked to be about at least 6 feet and 7 inches tall.
Jesus Christ!
What?
At least.
6'7"?
Yeah, Ben 10.
Jesus. What the hell did he turn into?
A man spider. He's got 6 arms.
His body was now better than it was before. His face was now more angular, having lost all traces of baby fat, and he now had lean, toned muscles like those of an Olympic athlete.
No amount of spider DNA will turn you into a super soldier.
Now, normally, such a transformation wouldn't freak Ben out after seeing Gwen turn into so many crazy aliens, but in this case, he did the most logical thing he could think of. He screamed. Ah! Faster than anyone could believe to be physically possible, Sandra ran into the bathroom to check on her son. She didn't seem very shocked to see that he was clinging to the ceiling upside down like a spider, but Ben really didn't know what was going on.
How'd he get up there then?
What the heck is going on? Ben asked. He extended his arm, which was really surprised when green spider silk shot out of his wrist, stuck to a toilet brush. Sandra was like, that doesn't usually happen. Don't do that. I don't like seeing that. I was just thinking about how bad that is already that we do that without natural powers.
I don't like that you're clinging to the ceiling, but you're still the same height because you're so damn tall.
Your head is still touching the floor, Ben. Get down. Tall man.
Get down.
God.
His eyes widened drastically as he looked to his mother for answers. She looked at him with sympathy. Ben, we need to talk, Sandra said. She managed to get her son off the roof, and they both sat on the edge of Ben's bed.
God, get him off
the roof! Pushing at him with a broom.
Get down.
Get down!
Ben silently.
He's just like,
Sandra set him on the bed. Ben, I always told you that my grandfather was a great man, but what I didn't tell you is that he was really a great hero. You see, he was bitten by a radioactive spider as a teenager, and it gave him powers of a spider. Those powers later were passed on to my mother, but skipped a generation with me, Sandra explained. Did it also give him the power to make a web like I can? Ben asked. No, Grandpa did that himself. He made web fluid that loaded into a pair of web shooters. The triggers were located at the back of his palm so that they wouldn't accidentally go off whenever he punched.
Are you serious?
I love it when they do this. Hold on. When he punched, grabbed something. Using his new powers, my grandfather Peter Parker became the greatest hero in New York City. He became a hero known as the SpiderMan and saved many lives with his powers, Sandra said.
hold on!
I'm so mad.
Did they put a hyphen in Spider-Man?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And saved many lives with his powers, Sandra said. But always remember this one rule that your great-grandpa used to follow. With power comes responsibility.
With power comes
Yes.
He just dishes that out right there. He's still like sickly on the bed.
waters it down so hard.
He's like, listen, you're
Something
not
like
great.
that.
Power.
Listen, Ben, you're not great, so this is all you get.
God.
Are you sure you want to do this, Ben? Sandra asked, after her little talk with her son, where she just said the triggers were located along the wrist so that when you're punching or grabbing things, it doesn't... Ben's like, I don't care. I can make it with my hands.
You don't have to explain this long-winded thing again.
I swear the first thing he does is trigger it by making a goddamn fist.
After her little talk with her son, Ben decided to use his powers for good instead of trying to live a normal life. The two of them were currently working on making a costume so no one would recognize him, and it was coming along nicely. But she was worried that her son would get hurt fighting a strong villain. Mom, it's like you told me. With great power comes great responsibility. She didn't say great.
That.
I don't want to hear that, Ben.
You're fucking talking yourself up, buddy.
You haven't found anybody yet.
They're pretty great, aren't I, Mom?
No.
Ben, I'll take away this suit. You're grounded.
Get back
You
on
are
the
grounded.
Get back on the ceiling.
If I'm going to be stuck with these powers all my life, I might as well use them to protect people, Ben replied. I know that you'll do good in the hero career, Ben. Sandra says 15. I just worry about you. You're my boy, and I don't want to lose you.
Why
Ben,
do you think Max outlived Peter?
you like how Max left and didn't come back? After he saw he was sick?
He saw it was.
He's like, ew, I don't want to catch that.
Gross.
They didn't tell him about the spider side.
I'm late for my fucking acting job. It's my big day. I can't get sick now.
Watch the Spire episode to see that one.
To see
Again.
to see what
Yeah.
happened to Grandpa Max. Watch our Spire episode.
Episode 7. It's got a good thumbnail.
Ben hugged his mom to try and comfort her. I'll always be there for you, Mom. You know this. Sandra hugged him back, truly happy that her son wanted to help people. Even though he's been in Gwen's shadow for quite some time due to the Omnitrix, he never let darkness into his heart. He's always been a kind, caring, and now heroic young man. And pretty soon he'd have a costume for his heroic endeavors.
Did they watch the show? That is not how Ben operates. Even with an Omnitrix, he's still like pompous and all that.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a
15.
kid.
He's 15 now.
You're right. Puberty hit him like a truck.
He's an imposing motherfucker.
He became Kevin.
Kevin 11?
Yeah, Kevin 15. Change your name.
I added more alien DNA. I am now Kevin 15.
Okay, you're gonna like this description.
Oh no.
It was primarily black in color with big white lenses that were outlined in green where his eyes would be, and it had green spiderweb patterns all over it. And on his chest was a logo that was a green spider. No doubt about it, Ben was gonna make an excellent successor. So edgy.
How scary is a 6'7" freshman?
Of 6'7" Spider-Man.
That's also
so
a freshman.
Right. God.
Sounds like a little boy.
Yuck.
Wait, so is this like after the events of Ben 10? Assumingly, they know Grandpa's a plumber. Gwen's had the Omnitrix.
I mean, yes, but Ben wasn't there. He was there, but he wasn't like
he
participating.
was on the road trip.
Yes. Well.
He didn't have that weird 13th form that turned him into a furry wolf before turning him into the actual wolf creature.
Right.
Yes. Well, how do I look? Ben asked.
Gift.
Like the Spider-Man come back to life, Sandra replied. Although you couldn't see under the mask, Ben did have a small blush on his face from the compliment. He wasn't used to such positive feedback about stuff like this, but he took it in stride.
Ben wasn't used to his parents paying attention for him. They sent him off in his grandpa's stinky RV.
No, this is Max's big day.
All he could do was get up in the morning and smell his granddad's musk.
All he could do was get up in the morning and go back to bed. And hope that he was Gwen.
And go back to bed.
And hope that he had a snatch.
Oh
shit.
It was chaos in downtown Bellwood. People screamed, cars were crashing, and the plumber agents that had arrived to help were severely outnumbered. These revived dire wolves were some of the largest, strongest, and fastest to ever exist. And due to this pack being as big and well coordinated as it was, the plumbers had to give it everything they had just to survive, in capital letters. At last, using my resurrected pack of dire wolves, I shall conquer this world. At last, using my resurrected pack of dire wolves, I shall conquer this world, and no power to stop me, Amanda declared, laughing like a madman at the end.
Dr. Animo.
Yes. I don't think so, Dr. Doolittle, countered a voice. Maxwell Tennyson looked in horror as a dire wolf pounced on him, only to become confused when the creature ended up stuck to the wall with green web.
Wait, does that I don't think so attributed to Max right before he saw death in his eyes?
That's what it seems like, but
He's like, I don't think so.
it's certainly written that way, but no, I don't think so. Green web? He looked up to see a boy in a black spandex suit with green web patterns and a similar looking mask.
A boy. That is a man.
He looked up 50 feet in the air to see this huge towering boy.
You can't even say he has like the frame of a boy. They said he was jacked.
He went up to
He's a man.
No, he was like he's like trying to look all tall and strong, and his grandpa's like, I recognize Ben anywhere. And he's like, come on, Grandpa, I'm 6'7". Give me a break. Like, Ben. Shaking his head.
You're big enough to step up, son. You'd better step up.
You're getting your own musk. With great musk comes great responsibility.
With great height comes great musk.
With great height comes great...
stench.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say, like... What was I gonna say? It was good, I swear.
Musk.
Gonna say more powerful insults or something to that degree.
The first thing Max noticed was the strong musk coming from the lumbering giant swinging through the air.
Are you trying to advertise for pet adoption? Because I'm pretty sure these dogs haven't had their shots, the boy mocked. I don't know who or what you are. I don't know who or what you are, boy, but you just picked the wrong opponent. Kill him, my pets, Animo ordered. I don't know what I'm trying to do with Animo's voice, but don't worry
You sound
about
like you're doing an abridged parody, but you have a really bad mic and you're in high school still.
it. Yeah. I'm shooting for very early Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
Oh my god.
The wolves ran to attack Ben, fangs bared and hackles raised, but our web-slinging hero was ready for them. He leapt from his perch and shot a web at a streetlight, using his momentum to swing back. Ben landed a hard kick to one of the wolves, knocking it into 3 others. He took the chance to tie the wolves up in web before they could get back up. Looks like your dogs are a bit tied up at the moment, Ben quipped.
I hate how all he did to train was climb up on the bathroom ceiling.
He's got
And
it.
then gotta talk about power.
Power and responsibility.
Yeah. That's when he felt a sort of tingling sensation in the back of his head. He knew this feeling from when his mom told him, "Your spider sense will be tingling." He said, "My spider sense is tingling." He then jumped to avoid 2 more wolves, making them crash into each other and knock each other out. "Bad dogs, no treats for you," Ben snarked. I'm giving this writing more credit in my delivery than it deserves.
Right.
But Ben soon begins to utilize that warning feeling he get in his mind to land acrobatic punches and kicks to the wolves. And with the biggest wolf, Ben jabbed 2 fingers into its neck, injecting it with a paralyzing venom.
What?
You can't do that.
What game does he do that?
With the last wolf,
Owen spiked him.
Ben stuck his fingers in his neck and slowly injected it with venom, looking him in the eyes.
Ben stuck his fingers so hard it pierced through its throat.
Ben euthanized the wolf instantly.
My spider euthanasia will do his
Nemo was not happy. Imagine
Think of how big his fingers are now that he's 6'7". He just leaves these 2 giant holes in his artery.
He's probably bigger than the wolves.
He probably just chopped his fucking head off.
Imagine this, like, boy-sounding creature making jokes, swinging into your pack of dogs.
He's just the Blue Ranger from Power Rangers Turbo.
He sticks his fingers in their necks, and slowly they fall down and die. It says Amino was not happy.
He's just over there with a frown.
Frowning. Oh.
Oh,
This is bad.
It's like ancient fantasy dire wolves.
God.
Like an actual D&D creature, not a Ben 10 or Spider-Man thing.
Amino says, he'll swallow. You shall never defeat my frog. You shall never defeat my frog. He'll swallow you up like a bug you are. Bug? Now that's just insulting. I'll have you know that I'm a spider. And spiders are arachnids. Big difference,
Animo
Ben
would
counted.
know that. He's an animologist or whatever.
I just imagine this motherfucker pulling a bullfrog out of his pocket. You'll never defeat my frog.
Yeah, it wasn't
Throws
established
it.
that it was there, and it didn't say, like, and the frog suddenly bursts through the wall.
It never established that Spider-Man was supposed to be a spider. He's just shooting green goo and stabbing his dogs in the neck with his
It's
fingers.
true, I don't like that it's green.
Black and green suit.
Just for the sake that it's Ben 10.
Oh, God.
The frog jumped into action, but our hero was more than ready for it. He jumped out of the way and onto another building before shooting more web at the frog. This web stuck to the amphibian to the ground and tied its mouth shut. Seeing that he was outmatched, Animo tried to make a break for it, but he was stuck to a streetlight by Ben.
The way you say his name, it sounds like you're saying an emo.
It is an emo.
No, like an
emo.
Like an emo scene kid.
Yes. Hope you stick around, Doc, because you're looking at about 20 plus years in the pokey. That's when Ben was swarmed by a small group of reporters.
Ben wouldn't say poke. He didn't catch him!
What happened to the frog?
The web stuck the amphibian to the ground and tied its mouth shut.
Oh.
So Ben stuck them all to the wall except for one wolf, which he killed by sticking his fingers in and watching it die.
He paralyzed it.
He made an yeah, he's fucking...
It's in the
made-
process
He
of
made an
dying.
example of it.
He's in comatose.
He's gonna put an Animo in 20 years in the pokey and put holes in his neck.
He has rigor mortis. He's just dead. God.
Yeah, that's his paralysis.
Yeah.
They just stand there so he assumes it paralyzed them.
I fucking hit the nerve that connects his brain to his spinal cord. Now he's in rigor mortis. He's paralyzed.
You ever heard wake up soon.
And Mr. Anemo,
Anyway, off I go. I'm Spider-Man! As he swings away on his, like, viscous, liquidy webs.
God. It's real, like...
It's like runny,
if you've
watery.
ever given blood, I'm imagining that sensation from your wrist with the plasma.
He's just getting weaker by the second. This is really hard.
As the surge fluid ejects from his wrist.
The soda.
Yeah. It's so fizzy when it comes out.
It
burns his blood. Oh, God. So the reporters surround him and they say, "Sir, who are you? What's your name?" "Are you from Bellwood or someplace else?" asked a male reporter. "Why black and green for your suit?" asked a fashion magazine publisher. "Are those real or artificial webs coming from your wrist?"
Oh my God.
Asked another.
Why is that your first question?
Why is that so important?
Webs, are they real? Do they come out of your wrist? I gotta know.
Are they cartridges? Do they go back when you're punching and grabbing people so it doesn't get in the way? Are you going to validate my headcanon or not? Come on!
Are they below your palm so when you punch or grab things you don't trigger them?
It's like this author is like really obsessed with how clever his idea would be if the webs actually came out of him, as if that doesn't happen in like half the renditions.
Right, like fuck.
Are you seeing someone? Asked a female reporter. Okay, not in that order. No, I'm not dating anyone yet. Those webs are in fact real. I chose black and green because I feel that those are my signature colors, and I was indeed born and raised. The reporter just cuts him off. Your mom chose those. He just stops talking.
Oh my God.
He's like, I gotta go.
Well, they would freak out when they see this gargantuan giant start speaking to them with zero testosterone in his voice.
Just imagine like he's answering all these questions rapid fire, and the reporter just cuts him off and goes, your mom chose those. And he just like stops dead in his tracks, looks that reporter right in the eyes, and he's like, I gotta go.
I gotta go. You ruined my flow.
Duty calls!
Eli, my boy. You got Sonny in?
As far as who I am, Ben turns towards the tallest building he could find and said his name. Just your friendly neighborhood SpiderMan. He then jumped up and started web swinging away from the reporters. One thing was now certain: the legacy of Spider-Man lives on, and the reporters now had a juicy story to follow up on. And that's the end.
What about Chapter 2 with Venom 11?
I was really worried that was going to keep going, but I applauded anyway.
Yeah.
Comments.
I give that a full 20 cartridges of Surge.
I give that a viscousy green fluid shot a foot away from you.
I give it a Grandpa Ben leaving, thinking his son was just sick, and then seeing him come back as the Spider-Man, and like taking his day job into his own hands.
He's a plumber. He doesn't know.
It's his big day.
Organic webs are cool and all, but I like the artificial webs. They make more... I don't care much about logic. It's a comic, so you really shouldn't be that worried about logic. But I think his artistic brainology is a very cool trait about Peter Parker.
Yeah, I think there were cool times in the comics where like him running out of web or having to like use different ones or whatever, or like malfunctions. It's a good plot point.
Overclock it so it explodes or something stupid.
Yeah.
I kind of like both, like, chronologically, honestly. I like the idea of him having the web shooters starting out with them, but then eventually as his mutation kind of increases, he actually develops spinnerets. I think that's, like, actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that's happened, but I like that idea because that's how he turns into man spiders. His mutation goes out of whack.
Wasn't that in, like, the animated series? Or did he just have them from organic from the get-go?
Oh,
Wait,
no,
he had
yeah.
web shooters in the series.
Yeah, he had web shooters, and he just kind of became the man spider as his mutation progressed. But I like the idea of him like just growing spinnerets after his mutation progresses. But other than that, I'm like fine with either, really. I think you can make Peter look smart without them, but I also like how they do offer like stakes to certain situations if they're not organic.
That was certainly a rip-roaring good time.
Indeed.
Glad I didn't pick another Harry Potter one. There was a lot of Harry
There
Potter
were-
ones.
I'm glad I
The
had
first
an ending.
one I friggin' looked at was friggin' Harry Potter.
I'm glad I had an ending.
Yeah, that was a nice ending. He flew away into the sunset.
I agree.
He flew away and lost all the blood flow in his arm.
He started talking about his suit, and the reporter called him out about how his mom picked the colors, and he said, "All right, I gotta go."
Ben can never tell a lie. You know that.
It's true.
You could tell underneath his mask he was in shock and awe.
How'd you know?
I can't get over the fact his little, like, gruff, like, Tara Strong or whatever voice. Just him with this huge frame.
6'7" angular frame.
Like 230 pounds of nothing but muscle and bone.
Tara Strong.
Titan High School or fucking web.
That he got from sleeping.
Yeah.
He had, like, bloodshot eyes in the beginning of this, like, oh!
Grandpa Ben comes in and leaves him for dead.
Grandpa Max.
Grandpa Ben, whatever. This is Ben's grandpa.
I have two.
Ooh.
One's longer than the other, but I have two.
Is one of them the epic rap battle of history?
No.
I almost read that one. It was 400 words, but I thought I could rap it out and it'd be funny.
That would be
You
funny.
wouldn't.
Maybe
That
at
can
the
be a
end.
special. That can be a special.
Look for it in the bonus.
What a 1550. You're like, that would be funny, and at the same time, I'm like, it wouldn't be funny.
Alright. So then. It's the 60s, and it's just another day in New York City. Just another day? Oh, come on, narrator guy. Say something more interesting. Spider-Man yelled at the sky while staying on
Come
top
on,
of a
narrator
Roman
guy,
building.
say something more interesting!
No, it's my job.
Deal with... I'm just gonna make Max Tennyson the narrator. Deal with it. It's not that I'd actually give a fuck, but hey, look over there. He yelled again at the sky, pointing in a
Yelling
random
over the streets of
direction.
New York. Like I actually give a fuck.
And this is the 60s Spider-Man, so this is limited as shit.
Whoa.
2-frame pointing. What? I can't see anything. Exactly. Those were the fucks I gave, Spider-Man said, laughing. Why you? I'm going to make you pay! Wait, Spider-Man said while searching his pockets. What are you looking for?
He
My
doesn't have
fucks, I
pockets.
can't find them.
This suit doesn't have pockets.
They don't
Checking
have
his
fucks
non-existent
either.
pockets while swinging on the web. Whoop.
What are you looking for? My fucks, I can't find them. Now you're as fucked as the fucks you don't give. That makes no sense. Not that I would give a fuck about that, Spider-Man replied, raising his shoulders. The sky was suddenly covered by thick black clouds. A storm was coming. Now pay for your insolence!
Is this a crossover with religion?
A thunder hit Spider-Man, evaporating him!
Whoa.
Well,
A thunder hit Spider-Man!
you mean sound?
Yeah! Max Dennison's almighty.
He just screamed so hard he evaporated.
Right? Oh my god.
It truly was his big day.
Good. Now I can get back to my work. Peace and quiet. Unfortunately, there was a turbulence in the not giving a fuck force. Oh no, why can't you die? The narrator yelled at Spider-Man when he realized that Spider-Man was only transported to another dimension. Where am I? Oh, I don't know. I don't actually give a fuck about this. I was just curious, Spider-Man said. For a while, Spider-Man started wandering around the new show he was transported into.
Show.
The new show.
Yeah.
He's like on a set. There's like a camera crew behind him.
God. I don't want to look like I'm giving a fuck, but this isn't my show. It's too girlish, Spider-Man
You
said.
wear a mask!
Right? A little bit confused by the place he was in. One tarnation, Applejack said after she stopped bucking the apple tree, saying Spider-Man.
What in the whole wide world of Equestria are you? The orange mare asked. Well, I'd ask you the same thing, but I don't actually give a fuck, Spider told the mare, raising his shoulder.
Why is it 60s Spider-Man?
It's all about that one, it's all about those, Spider-Man meme jokes.
This Toon Boom animated show with the 60s 2-frame reuse show.
You could probably make that.
I could! It wouldn't be hard.
It'd probably be funnier if it was, the realistic, the Raimi movie Spider-Man just in this world telling the animals to fuck off.
Tobey Maguire's dropping bombs.
God.
Let's watch Spider-Man 3 again.
Gladly. Well, I'd ask you the same thing, but I don't actually give a fuck, Spire told the mayor, raising his shoulder. Oh there, partner, that was uncalled for. If I'd give a fuck, I'd agree, but I don't. That's it. No pony gets away with it. You will be sorry for that, the mayor said before turning her back to Spider-Man and running. Heard that before. It's not that I give a fuck, but I'm wondering what she's going to do.
The mayor's a
That's
woman?
giving a mare. Yeah, a mare is a female.
Oh,
horse.
I thought you said the mayor.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say very progressive.
That's my good old. It's my good old Southern drawl.
Your Tennessee slang.
My mare.
Your dad's fishbowl dialect.
Ah, distortion.
Fuzzy fishbowl voice.
He only spoke to you in his fishbowl when you were trying to learn how to talk.
I'll teach you the way my dad taught me.
Now, Stephen, become one with mystery.
This hard mode learning English. Suddenly, let's see here. From that point, he got comfortable on a bench from where he could admire the sky. Suddenly, Spider-Man heard a loud noise coming in his direction. Without giving a single fuck, he ignored the 6 ponies that just arrived. Oh, when I get my hooves on that filthy creature, Rainbow Dash said, mad, searching everywhere for Spider-Man. Just don't hurt him. Maybe he's just scared, Fluttershy tried to defend him. No offense, Fluttershy, but you're kind to every pony, but that language isn't accepted, Twilight told the Yellow Pegasus. And after that, we can throw a party, Pinky exclaimed, jumping behind the rest of the group.
After doing what? Just telling him he can't say the F word?
Right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, darling, but no party until we find that red creature. Anyway, it's not ladylike to talk like that at all.
The bipedal red creature moves 2 frames at a time.
I love rarity. No offense, gals, but I have some business undone. That kind of language isn't necessary. But where is he? Twilight asked, a bit confused. I think he's hiding here, somewhere. I need to ask you girls to help me buck him out of these trees. Applejack asked her other mares. Count on me, Rainbow Dash answered, already bucking a few trees. I'm sorry, Applejack, but I really don't want to hurt the poor creature, Fluttershy said. Even if you're right, Applejack, it's not classy to buck trees, Rarity said. Sorry, girls, no party, no help.
They've determined that he's in the tree. And he's playing no part in this conversation. He's just watching them in the tree.
They're just already destroying the fucking plants without actually knowing.
Your horse kicking the trees angrily.
If he says the F word again, then they'll lose their funding.
It's right. You're right.
Gonna stick his fingers in their neck and inject them with venom.
Inject them with the fucks he doesn't give. After a little while, Rainbow Dash finally bucked to the good tree where Spider-Man was hiding, making him fall, followed by a bunch of red apples. Wow, look at all the fucks I don't give. They're just falling from the sky, Spider-Man exclaimed.
Laying on the ground after falling out of a tree.
Right.
Whoa, look at them all.
Oh, fuck you.
He's like holding his stomach.
Shaking his fist.
He's like out of breath, but he's trying to say something. He's like, fuck you.
It's him, Applejack exclaimed. Oh, the poor thing, it's hurt, Fluttershy said, worried when she saw Spider-Man falling on the ground.
His eyes are like wet through the mask from crying.
Oh no. Look at me. This is me not giving a fuck, Spider-Man said, leaning on the tree.
Holding the stomach, one arm on the tree.
Look at this.
That's it. We're taking you to Princess Celestria, Rainbow Dash asked when she and Applejack grabbed Spider-Man by his feet.
With what?
Their mouths, I guess.
By both of his feet.
Yeah. Fuck the police, Spider-Man yelled while he tried to grab something to free himself. After a long time, being tired of Spider-Man's attitude, Twilight used a spell to teleport all of them to Canterlot. Next time, please warn us, the mayor said, a bit dizzy. I'm sorry, but after he made Fluttershy cry with his jokes, we couldn't lose more time.
His jokes?
That would fucking
So they
kill
know their jokes.
They know their jokes, but they're still triggered and... Oh my god.
His bad memes where he tells us to fucking die.
Fuck the police. Oh my... He needs to be brought in the face of justice right now. And by justice, I mean Princess Celestia. And by in front of, I mean the same thing. On Celestria's name, he's too annoying, Twilight yelled desperately.
You sought him out and knocked him out of a tree and dragged him through the dirt.
Right. After he told you clearly to fuck you.
He said fuck off and left and went to sleep in a tree, and then you knocked him out of the tree and dragged him around.
He needs to be punished.
Oh my god. After a short while of more not giving a fuck jokes, the mayor's dragged Spider-Man in the throne room. Well, Twilight, I'm glad you're honoring me with your presence. What's the occasion? Princess Celestia asks, surprised by the sudden appearance of her student. I'm sorry, Princess, if we disturbed you, but we had to bring this creature to justice, the Lavender Mare said, pointing her hoof at Spider-Man. What happened? The princess asked worriedly. Fuck the police! Spider-Man suddenly yelled.
He's like
Listen to this
unconscious.
sentence! Listen to this sentence! Fuck the police! Spider-Man suddenly yelled to scare the princess. Fuck the police! He suddenly gets in her fucking face.
Screams through his mask.
It's like across the hall, it's like echoing into her ear.
Who is this creature you brought before us? Fuck the police! Like, alright.
Just
Oh,
sitting on the
God.
floor.
Oh my
Down an
God.
extremely long hallway.
I understand. Well, I think we can arrange that. Just let him go.
Alright.
Just
I
let-
get it.
Just let him go. Trust me, Celestia told Rainbow Dash and Applejack, which were still holding Spider-Man. After the two mares released Spider-Man, he laid on the marble floor. My body is ready, he told Celestia. At the sound of the statement, Celestia skipped a breath. Holy fuck, I'm high. I just realized that you're a two-in-one. Both the horse with the horn and the horse with the wings. It's not that I give a fuck, which I don't. I was just thinking out loud. Celestia was trying to keep herself calm. My little ponies, please come with me, Celestia said as she gathered the mares to tell them something. Unfortunately, they were too far for Spider-Man to hear. Dead ass, he yelled at the bunch of ponies.
Asshole spouting memes.
Why is
On the
this
floor.
60s Spider-Man? I don't even remember these memes.
Just like all the screen caps, like, look at me sitting at the desk.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
all
Like
those-
the one with him, like, pointing in the mirror and stuff.
Yeah, those are all like
Okay.
2011, 2012 memes.
Ah, I see. Oh my god. That ass, he yelled at the bunch of ponies. All of them felt offended. Rainbow Dash,
Individually offended.
I'm not gonna let this misspelling go. Rainbow Dash, Applejack, please bring the creature with you and follow me, Celestia told the ponies.
They
What's
just
that?
told him to let him go. Now he's back in custody because he made fun of them and told him to fuck off again and said their ass.
Because he told them they had asses.
He misogynied them.
Uh,
He has to pay.
Celestia led the ponies, dragging Spider-Man through a lot of rooms, finally reaching a
Could
big
have
pair
left
of
at
doors.
any time.
Right, he just laid on the floor. Celestia introduced her horn and the whole place between the doors, opening them. The doors open, revealing a pitch-dark room. Celestia used her magic to pull a lever, lighting all the torches. The light provided by the torches revealed a huge cannon with its mouth going through the roof. After Princess Celestia used her magic to close the door, she said, "Let him go." Still amazed by the huge iron creation, Rainbow Dash and Applejack released Spider-Man without saying a word. Now, you have two options.
With their mouths? How are they holding him?
Their mouths.
Yeah, their mouths. Now, you have...
Dragging him by his dirty feet.
His, like, socks of his onesie. Spider-Man onesie costume.
All of his, like, it's getting just enough so it's not, like, elastic between his toes anymore. So it's just, like, a centimeter of floppiness.
Now you have two options. First is, but you got cut off by Spider-Man. Here's your option. Spider-Man tried to mock Celestia's tone. First, fuck you, I'm Spider-Man. I see. Girls, please take him inside the chamber. Celestia said.
I see.
Spider-Man keeps getting himself in trouble.
Celestia said in an angry tone, using her magic to open a door.
If God couldn't kill him, what does he truly have to fear?
Right.
Like our exercise, no longer believe in fear or God.
Using her magic to
It all comes full circle.
Using her magic to open a door leading to the interior of a cannon. It's not that I'm giving a fuck, but I'm not, Spider-Man said while being dragged inside the chamber. Now, the princess started to say as she was closing the door from the cannon. Get behind me. Spider-Man took a deep breath and exhaled on the window, making a thin layer of fog on it. Then he wrote with his finger on the glass, "Dad ass." That was the last straw, Celestia said.
He's wearing a mask!
You're right. With her magic, she threw a fireball at the rope coming out of the cannon. The rope was slowly but surely burning. After the rope burned completely, the cannon shot, making a very loud noise that deafened the two mares. What was that? The two mares asked, confused by the sudden event. The moon cannon, Celestia said before bursting into a maniacal laugh.
Shot Spider-Man to the moon.
And that's the end of that one. Ooh. I give that all my fucks. Yeah. Alright, so let's see.
I give that 2 fractured ribs out of all the ribs in your rib cage.
I give it like my favorite Spider-Man headcanon. Just this obnoxious, unrelenting goofball.
Immortal goofball.
Good. Alright, and this is my next one, my last one.
Ooh, going right into it.
In New York, Peter Parker watches a play of MJ.
Is this the intro to Spider-Man 3?
In another world, Harry Potter cuts his hair.
Nope.
By the end, his hair looks like Peter Parker's. And he flies
Great!
off.
Okay!
That's so cool!
Are their haircuts that distinct?
Then he flies off on a broom. He zooms into Spider-Man's world on accident. Peter Parker senses him. Harry Potter finds the sand before Sandman, and he takes the sand. Harry Potter finds Harry Osborn's Green Goblin equipment. Harry Potter takes all of it. He finds Peter Parker in the tower before Eddie becomes Venom. He steals the Venom suit and unsticks it with magic. Eddie never gets it. He only sees Harry Potter make off with it. Eddie calls up Harry Osborn and Sandman. They die seed to have a meeting. Harry Osborn leaves a note for Peter Parker. Peter Parker reads it. It says, "Dear Spider-Man/Peter, give us back our evil clothes and weapons. Bring all. If you don't come, something might happen. Son of Green Goblin, Eddie to become Venom, Flint to become Sandman. Come or else to Harry's house."
I like how he stole all the sand.
Harry's house.
He stole all of Sandman's sand.
It's already a problem that there are 2 Harrys.
Right.
I'm already lost.
Peter comes, they tie him up and ask him where the weapons are. Peter says he does not know, and Harry Osborn believes him. They untie him and all talk. They figure out all saw Harry Potter. They must group together and get him. After all, they did not have any bad weapons to fight Peter Parker with. So they might
sand before Sandman could become Sandman.
That means he just got nuked. He'd be way dead.
Right. So they might as well go and get back the weapons, and Peter Parker could help them. So Peter Parker tells Mary Jane this the next day. Then he proposes to MJ. She accepts. Harry Potter grabs the ring. Peter tells MJ to stay, and he calls Harry Osborn to say he found Harry Potter. Harry O says to follow Harry P, and they could follow Peter. Peter sees Harry P rush into his own world, so Peter gets on his suit and follows Harry P into Harry Potter's world. When he gets there, he calls Harry O again. Taking off his mask, Harry O and Eddie show up and they say Flint Marko will show up soon. They see Harry flying to a school. They go in. There is a wizard. Spider-Man asks where the ring is. The wizard says Harry has it. Spider-Man grabs Harry P. Needless to say, Harry P. gives back the ring.
Spider-Man puts his hands on this little boy. Give it back! I need that to get married to my wife.
Then Flint comes in. Eddie asks where the Venom suit
Flint
is.
wanders into Hogwarts. This criminal from New York City.
This is
He's
magic.
just trying to save his daughter.
The wizard.
Then what I have to do to save my daughter, guys? That's why I'm here.
I need my sand to save my
I
daughter.
need my sand.
She needs the sand.
The wizard says that the suit is not a suit anymore. They burnt it with magic. Harry O asks where's Green Goblin board pumpkin bombs and Green Goblin suit is. The wizard said it is all cut in half in their labs. It could not be put back together. Then Flint says, where's my sand?
Flint doesn't know he needs the sand! I hate this. He's such a nice guy. I just watched the movie. He just
He's the greatest character in that movie.
he
to be
breaks out
honest.
of jail to deliver letters to his daughter, and then his wife yells at him, so he leaves and tries to run back to just help his daughter, and he gets nuked.
Right. He gets freaking in that radiator that freaking disintegrates
He's not
him.
like a villain who needs sand to live.
Right. He's just he's like the most
my sand? Everything's too smooth.
this man who cares about his daughter so much that he would escape prison and get irradiated with a fucking generator.
Cares more about sand.
Went
Power he
into
doesn't know he
Needs sand.
went into another world altogether to get his sand.
that he doesn't know he needs.
Oh my God.
Elementary school wizards.
Oh my God. Then Flint says, where's my sand? Oh, that, the wizard says, it's now a rock. Harry O is mad, Eddie's mad, Flint is mad. And so Harry O, Eddie, Flint, and Peter fight and kill Harry Potter. And
That's all stomping him on the ground.
The boy who did not live.
you want me to finish this sentence?
Flint Marko grabs his wand and snaps it over his knee.
And so, Harry O, Eddie, Flint, and Peter fight and kill Harry Potter and his school and world! Then they all forgive each other.
Peter's the only one with power. The other ones are just normal guys.
Then they all forgive each other and go back to their own world.
Everyone in this
Then
world has
I mean,
magic and killing curses.
Let's be honest. If a bunch of adults, gritty New York adults,
Four.
ran through this school of children on a mission to kill all of them,
There's hundreds of them. And teachers.
Oh my God.
I mean, how many do you think Brock could take out by himself?
It's Spider-Man 3, Brock, so not a lot.
Oh
How
my
many do you
God.
think the Sandman could take out by himself without his
Probably a
sand?
number. He's beefy.
Yeah,
He's beefy, but he wouldn't want to.
He also
Yeah,
loves
he
children,
wouldn't do
this is
it.
true.
Right.
But how much does he love sand? And want the sand.
That they all forgive each
It's a
other.
rock now.
He was
It's not how
mad.
sand works. Sand comes from... Sand is a rock and then it becomes
Right,
sand.
That's
Not
yeah.
the other way around. Yes, yes.
Oh my
It was
god.
glass.
I guess if they went back in time to year 1, Harry, then the sand could have deroded.
They could not have. Well, they couldn't. I don't have anything to say.
They all forgive each other and they go back to their own world. Then Mary Jane gets married to Peter and Harry O his best man. The end. That story is
That's
called.
Yeah, I saw that one.
God.
Well, he did.
By Lou.
Hey, you
By Brown
This
Bricks.
story pushed me into hypoglycemia. I'll be right back.
commercial.
Oh god.
Try new apple cider shaken with shock top. It is dehydrating.
Yeah.
Back to the show.
Back to the show.
Okay. I'm gonna read this one I found because I thought it was funny and there's apparently spelling errors.
Nice.
Oh no.
Read the rap battle one.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one I picked out. How'd you guess? I thought it'd be so funny.
I saw the gleam in your eyes when you said that wouldn't be very funny.
Like hiding myself, sweating bullets.
You're like-
Right.
Like, that's the one I picked. No!
That's mine. No.
Barely controlling your laughter. Oh god, it would be so funny, but I want to read it.
That's mine.
Spider-Man walked in the woods, weak and fatally injured. I have to think of some way of defeating him. I don't want to die like this.
It better not be Naruto, I swear to God.
Spider-Man said, barely able to speak. He then felt something grab him. The minute he felt it, he knew what it was and immediately tried to fight against it. There's no use in fighting now. It's over. You're mine now, whether you like it or not, said the extremely tall, monstrous, faceless figure, who was now using his tentacles to grab and slowly start to wrap themselves around his body. Spider-Man then felt Slender Man's tentacles restrain his body, making him unable to or move as they finished wrapping and covering themselves upon his entire body, leaving only Spider-Man's head unwrapped.
Oh.
It's not over. You haven't won just yet. What makes you say that? Said Slender Man. You may have me for now.
Slenderman talking.
Right.
He's got like a geeky voice. What makes you say that? I think I got you.
Why you saw that, Bird?
That's Slenderman in Ernest's hat and vest.
Slendernest.
You may have me now, but for the moment, but ultimately I'll figure out a way to stop you, stated Spider-Man, brave but still weak. Ha ha ha. Saying you will defeat me? Now that is amusing, especially since you are in your weakest and most vulnerable state. Yet you haven't even damaged me in the slightest in our last little encounter. However, I have damaged you, and I can tell I did a pretty fine job doing it. So what overall makes you so confident that you will defeat me now? Said the Slender Man, holding him captive. I guess it's the fact that I survived this long to this point, while most of the other people you have encountered would most likely be dead, and that's what gives me the confidence that I have at least some chance of defeating you. Parentheses, haha, so naive, if only he knew his ultimate demise, Spider-Man thought.
He's just like, oh god, I'm so sick of this conversation.
Speaking of which, why hasn't he killed me? I mean, there are so many moments where he could have easily killed me, but he instead lets me live. Why? Spider-Man wondered, confused why Slender Man hasn't tortured, killed, or tried to eat him yet. Slender Man trooned toward Spider-Man and spoke.
Tweened?
Trooned.
Okay.
Tweened.
You're right, Spider-Man. I could have killed you so easily a long time ago, but I didn't. I won't, said Slender Man. Why? Spider-Man questioned, now even weaker than before. Because I like you, especially when you're alive. I need you alive for many reasons. One of them being is that, why should I kill you? I have never had so much enjoyment from a single human since Alex. The only difference between you and Alex is that I have more fun with you. More fun. Torturing you.
That sounds brain dead.
Stated the Slender Man in an overjoyed tone. That's supposed to make me special or something? Spider-Man asked. Yes, in a way it does. Why, yes.
I hate this, like, dumb, idiot, southern Slender Man.
Should I change it?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll change
Ernest.
it. I mainly love how you childly make jokes trying to hide how scared you are of your opponents. Even in the darkest or scariest of situations.
Oh, do Bill Cosby.
Even in the darkest or scariest of situations, you'll crack at least one joke. How ignorant of you, stated Slender Man. I guess ignorant enough to think that this wasn't the moment I was going to die, or get hurt, or tortured, or eaten, or whatever you have planned for me.
God, I hate this guy's writing.
My God.
It's just a mash of misplaced quotation marks.
All these fucking
I appreciate
run-ons.
it. I'm glad that we can read it. I don't ever hate the authors that we read, but this writing is driving me crazy.
These run-on sentences are really triggering me. I agree.
I don't know that Bill Cosby is a good voice because of that either. Sorry. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is a good voice because he does do that.
You gotta exaggerate.
The fun and the
I'll do it if you want.
This is why I like you. You do more to amuse me.
Sound like Beetlejuice now.
Beetle Cosby. I'd say Bill Cosby's name 3 times in a row and make him appear.
Make him go to court.
Screaming fear and paranoia is still deliciously fun. But even that doesn't seem to quite satisfy me. Then what does satisfy you? Spider-Man asked, now a little more worried than he was before. You know what? You're the first to ask me that question, and I don't know how to answer it. He then giggled. But maybe after this we'll both find out what does satisfy my pleasures, said Slender Man, now more excited than ever before. Spider-Man was starting to get scared, but he knew that he had to try his best to not show any sign of fear around the creature.
Do Slender Man as Max from the Goofy movie.
I don't know how he sounds.
That's a hard one.
No, it's not.
Isn't he just like a boy?
Yeah, he's like a boy, but it'd be funny.
That's just a normal voice.
Alright. Never
It
mind.
is goofy.
Yeah, Slender Man wants him to be afraid, and that being scared will only make things worse. Wait, what are you gonna do to me? Spider-Man said in a cautious tone. No, I'm not going to tell you. I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise now, would I? Besides, I'd rather show you through actually doing it rather than just telling you what I am going to do and then do it. It becomes sort of unpredictable that way. So don't worry, you'll know once I do it.
It's like
Slender Man
feeble
said.
middle-aged man.
He's just given up on quotations at this point.
Ah, dear.
Slender Man said in a joyful yet mysterious, vague tone. I should have known he wouldn't tell me. I just hope that it won't be too painful once he actually manages to do whatever horrible thing he's got planned. Spider-Man had no idea what was going to happen to him, but he knew, knowing Slender Man, that it was most likely going to be a horrible and sinister, likely to cause pain. Slender Man then responded almost a direct response to the question Spider-Man had asked him in his head. Don't worry. I promise that when I do it, that you will feel no pain. He then laughed a loud chuckle. Spider-Man looked up at Slender Man and said, "You really are enjoying this, aren't you?" in an angry yet noticeable tone. Slender Man then stared at Spider-Man and said, What do you mean by that?
End this conversation!
Well, torturing me
God.
both psychologically and physically, as if I haven't been tortured enough, scaring the living daylights out of me and overall making my life miserable.
This is so gay.
This makes me mad.
Just kind of noticed how much you've enjoyed it. That's all. Really? I thought it was obvious. You know, I guess you must really be as naive as
Oh my
I
God.
thought.
I just peeked at it over his shoulder in the formatting. I feel so bad.
I thought that knowing me that you would have known this all by now, said Slender Man in a happy, all-powerful tone. You know what? You're right. Knowing you, I should have known this. And you know what else? I seriously swear. Oh. And you know what else? I seriously swear, if I wasn't so weak, helpless, trapped, and restrained by your will, that I would so punch you in the face right now. Don't even bother.
Don't even bother.
You couldn't hurt me if you tried.
Don't even bother, first of all. Yeah, right.
Spider-Man then struggled intensely after that sentence. He couldn't take it anymore. The helplessness, the fact that he wasn't able to move, and the fact that Slender Man was toying with him, doing as ever he pleases with no hesitation, just burned him up inside. That was until Slender Man tightened his grip and used his tentacle to slap his already extremely hurt and weak body.
God, this gay tension.
Spider-Man screamed in pain. The pain itself was unbearable. Spider-Man could hardly breathe and was just gasping for air. It was that tight.
Why does this have
He
to be
then
Spider-Man?
What was that for? I told you that struggling would make it worse, didn't I?
Yes,
Why
you
does
did.
that
No, you
exist?
didn't! Because didn't you tell me not to worry, that I would feel no pain?
Where's the rap battle?
I did say that I was never going to cause pain or death for the fun of it.
Peter, give
However,
That's it. Give me a beat.
I think that it just turned into the rap battle. I would actually lose my mind.
Peter Parker, you a motherfucker. I'm gonna hit you.
however, I didn't say I wasn't going to cause pain if you willingly disobeyed me. You son of a... I wouldn't reject my orders if I were you. I should have you know that I can do anything to you, so resisting isn't the best thing to do for your sake. Just to let you lay your hand down for... Just to let you lay his head down in silence, humiliated but had no choice to follow his orders out of pure fear and the consequences of disobeying. Jeez, is this how he gets his proxies to do everything he says? If so, that would most likely explain a lot. Fine, I give up. You win. Are you happy now? Said Spider-Man in defeat and acceptance of the startling fact that he was now defeated by Slender Man. That's exactly what I wanted to hear, said Slender Man, who Spider-Man swore was grinning despite the lack of facial features. That's it.
Wow.
That made me really mad. I'm not gonna lie.
That drug a 10-second interaction out infinitely.
I don't want to end on that, so I'm picking something else.
Okay,
I'll get the name of the rap battle for you.
let's do a rap battle.
I had two others picked in that. Okay. This is so hard. I'll do this one. It's long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but, you know, maybe just a chapter. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, where is that one? I forgot to rate it.
Great!
I rate it. That scene in the intro to Kingdom Hearts 1 where Riku puts his hand out underneath the wave and then Sora's running towards him and trying to hold on to him.
Mm-hmm.
That perfectly represents the sexual tension in this scene. That was the entire fan fiction. Because Sora knows that Riku could hurt him any way he wanted to, and he'd be helpless, and it would be really gay.
I do like that. I rate it getting one Slender Man page and then drawing a penis on it and putting it back.
Taking it off the tree and scribbling a penis on it and putting it back in the tree.
Oh my god.
And then you see like the markers etching of a penis etches on his face with magic.
And he's like, God, I didn't know that's how that worked. Why?
What is this on my page?
Just a blank, goofy nose. Like Goofy's face with like no mouth or eyes.
Oh my
But he
god.
still has this huge nose.
Yuck.
It's white.
Equally
like
as
pale
scary
white.
as Slender Man.
Ugh.
Just even rate it so I can move on with my life.
I rated
I rated a rap battle.
I rated a B.
And he slowly says, Now I want you to rap, Peter, over my beat that I will make.
As he's like
I
tightening
will.
around his throat.
I will hold you down, and you will have no choice but to rap over the beat I make, or else I will continue to make the beat until you rap over it.
and then you will probably be driven insane by the beat I am making because you did not rap over it because
I can't take any more run-on sentences!
Let's go.
Okay. Chapter 1. Spider on the wall. Oh, and this thing has a fantastic little thing to, like a little teaching tool to know when they're thinking and when they're talking and such. That would have been so convenient in the last story. Okay. My name is Flash Thompson. You know me as the high school bully of Peter Parker, or as is better known as Spider-Man. My childhood friend was the same kid I picked on each and every day. Yeah, not my best decision. Yet then again, I was a kid. A stupid kid, but still a kid. Just in case you don't know, after high school I went to war and got my legs blown off.
Oh my god!
What?
That's true.
It's real?
Wait, what happened?
He went to war and got his legs blown off.
Flash?
Yes.
Oh my god! I had
That's
no
so
idea.
hard to believe.
That's
yes.
so
When did that happen? Why?
I don't know, like mid
Right.
2000s.
Holy crap. Well then.
I am now a cripple in a wheelchair.
Yes, you are Flash.
But that's not all of my story.
Oh.
You see, the government somehow got their hands on a certain symbiote that's been causing trouble since its first appearance with Spider-Man.
In issue 134.
The government wanted to find some way to use the symbiote called Venom. So as a result, I was picked from the bunch. When I bonded with it, I knew from the start it was trying to gain control over my mind. But I had help to keep it together in order to finish the mission. From Jack-o'-lantern to Captain America as a juiced-up spider mutant, I had to fight them all. But for the mission, my wife, and my own sanity,
My wife.
My
My beautiful wife.
who I love and adore every day.
She asks if I will get my legs back by helping the military, and I really wish I would get them back, but they
He
keep...
did.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
That's why he has Venom,
Cool.
so he can walk.
It all came full circle.
And he also has a gun
Yeah.
You
You got that one by,
from his wife.
yeah.
goodness.
But enough about the past because the future is more interesting at the moment. While trying to infiltrate Stark Tower for one of his new inventions that could help the government, I was seen by the big guy himself, Iron Man, which wasn't good for me considering his armor packs a punch and has both electrical and sonic attacks. I was kinda screwed from the very start.
Did he punch him?
Tell me why you're here, Agent Venom, and I'll consider letting you leave and tell your boss all about this.
Oh, they're like enemies.
Tony screamed over the sonic blast that he hit Venom with.
Oh my god.
Tell me why you're here!
Right.
The agent was kneeling on the ground, covering his ears in a vain attempt to stop the sound. You know I can't do that, Stark. He could feel it. The symbiote. He was trying to get in his head while he was weakened. Damn, the thing was smart. Tell me or I'll be scraping black gunk from my clean floor. Tony was always the persistent one when it came down to it. Sorry, Tony, but my superior's classified info getting out. Flash's voice was slowly gaining a new echo. No, it was coming. He had to stop it in its tracks. Well then, tell your superiors that they can't have whatever it is they're looking for. Turning off the sound, Tony used his arc blaster to send Venom into the other room. However, by a slight miscalculation, Tony sent Venom to the same room as his new project, an interdimensional traveler.
Ah, yes, the fanfic Deus Ex Machina device.
Goodness.
Oh crap, you weren't supposed to see that! With the sound gone, Flash quickly gained control over himself once more.
Flash is like, what is it? What is this device? Why shouldn't I see this?
What is it?
Looking at the device, Venom knew it was the one they wanted. Walking close to it, Venom reached out to grab it. No! Don't touch it, Venom! Tony, in an act of quick thinking, aimed his arc blasters at Venom with Venom's hands, which was now holding the small device. The blast connected with the IT, causing a small explosion, forming smog. Smog? They probably meant smog.
Ah, yeah.
Sir, I detect a small breach in reality, said Jarvis, the AI Tony built. When the smoke cleared, there was no Venom, and no IT anywhere, not even a piece. Another world.
I know.
Alex, Clover, and Sam were in the middle of shopping at the new store that opened in the mall. That is until Whoop decided to call in their assistance. Welcome back, girls, said Jerry, director of Whoop. What gives, Jerry? I was in the middle of shopping, screamed the blonde spy.
What the hell, Jerry?
Oh my god.
She had her eyes on a pretty red top, yet that wasn't all. Mandy also had her eyes on it.
No.
This is Clover. Yes, I want to know too, shouted the black-haired girl. She was in the middle of buying a new case for her phone when she got whooped in. This is Alex. I was in the middle of a conversation,
I am
complained the last
100%.
one.
I'm 100% in this world.
Yeah.
Complained the
love
last
Totally
one who had long
I sure
red hair.
am.
She was trying to talk with the guy she deemed cute. This is Sam. My apologies, ladies, but we have an urgent mission alert and need you three to investigate. We have very little information, which is what disturbs us the most at this time. You see, our detectives have spotted a large energy spike in the New York sewer system. Since this is a simple investigative mission and nothing more than we will supply you with. Calm powder, laser lipstick, scanning watch, jetpack backpack, and the hairdryer. The three got their cat suits on and quickly got the gadgets from the table and put them in proper places when they got whooped to New York in seconds. Can you guys really lowly do the Totally Spies theme?
Geez, I can't even remember.
I don't remember either.
Here, I'll look it up.
The literal least memorable theme song.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Here we go. Get ready to start the show. Here we go. Here we go.
I remember we looked it up because we couldn't remember it, and we remembered why, because it was so unmemorable.
Here I got. Yeah, here we go.
I hate their neon spy suits. They're so impractical.
That's too loud. New York sewers. Where am I? What happened? All I see is darkness. Wait, I smell something. It smells like the sewers. Shouts Flash as he raised up onto his legs, noticing that the symbiote was still on and that he was in what he knew was the New York sewer. Venom had figured that Tony put him here after a little tussle in Stark Tower. Come on, girls, let's get this done with. Venom heard voices. This one was female. We aren't going to get done with it in a second, so chill out, another female.
Venom was horny.
Come on, girls, you're both acting a little immature. The last one was also female. They were coming on his position quick, which meant they were looking for something. But what? Come on, we were told to look around here for whatever it is, so start looking. Was it possible that they want to find me? I better hide myself to eavesdrop and get the information. Venom used his powers to stick to the wall, his black costume making it almost impossible for them to find him unless they shine a bright flashlight at him. Then he saw the light. Not too bright that he couldn't hide, but bright enough that it would make it a bit more difficult. I have an idea to scare them away. If I could get them to turn their backs on me, and they will regret it. Venom knew... You can stop that now, by the way.
No.
Venom knew how to scare people good. he had all he needed: the costume, creepy settings, and the most important one, the element of surprise. Come on, girls, the signal says that whatever it is will be somewhere around here. She was a red-headed Caucasian female. Why are you laughing at Caucasian?
She's a red-headed cock. Sorry.
Reminds Venom of Mary Jane Watson.
Mine's Venom of something.
Venom got horny again. Let's just get this done with. I have to be at the mall like 3 hours ago. This one was blonde Caucasian female. Wait, mall? They were teenagers. Yeah, Sam, we need to end this quick, like what Clover says.
What are you willing to bet they call Clover?
This
Wait.
one was a brunette Indian girl.
Yeah, I thought
Each
so.
they built of teenagers, but their cloths are strange. Each had they build of teenagers, but their cloths are strange.
Yep.
What is that, spandex? Oh, wait, I get it. Some little schoolgirls want to be superheroes just like Spider-Man or the Young Avengers. Well, seeing the Venom symbiote would change their minds. Speaking up behind them on the ceiling, Venom quietly jumped down and barely made any noise. Come on, girls, there's nothing down here, so let's leave before the mall closes.
Let's
said
leave our mission
Blondie.
and go to the mall.
She was flapping her arms, trying to prove her point. Yes, Sam, let's leave this disgusting place and get back home, said the brunette, trying to budge what Venom thinks is the leader. Now is the time to strike! I agree with the red and yellow ones. Venom's voice was different, yet the same. Strange. Yeah. Yeah, see, he agrees with us. All three turned around and flashed their lights on Agent Venom. All was silent for the time being. What the heck? Screamed Blondie. Her voice was very high-pitched, made the symbiote squirm.
Oh my god.
Who are you? That was something Venom didn't expect. The redhead took a fighting stance. The sloppy fighting stance, but that's to be expected from a teenager. He looks so scary! Well, the
Ouch.
brunette knew how to be afraid, but the next moment, a red and yellow dressed girls took the same pose as what Venom deduced as the leader. Do you girls really think you can me? Well, then by all means try.
He like stutters.
As if on cue, all three ran to Venom. Red tried to sweep kick him, but Venom saw it miles away. Blondie wanted to kick Venom in the gut, but to her great surprise, Venom caught her foot and tossed her at Red. Brunette tried a left hook, which Venom caught without much effort. Please tell me you're not taking this seriously. I haven't even had to resort to my abilities. The brunette seemed a bit shocked. Also to be expected, especially when someone finds someone else who they can't touch and learn he's not even trying. Blondie tried to sneak attack Venom by kicking his back. However, he slung the brunette and hit Blondie, sending them both back. What happens next shocked Venom. Red got something out of her suit. Wait, how? Never mind the physics that were just broken. Did she get lipstick out? Yes, Red was now holding some lipstick out.
Is that a jab at their skin-tight suits that hold things?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, Red was now holding some lipstick out. She rolled it out and aimed it at Venom. And then the unthinkable happened. The lipstick shot out a laser that was flying straight to Venom. Too shocked to move, the beam hit Venom on the head, knocking him back. Yay, we got him! Clover, Alex, we got him!
Hit him right
Shots
in the head
over-
and killed him instantly.
Shot him right in the temple.
Oh my god.
She's a sharpshooter, that Sam. Shoots to kill.
I would have been more upset if he moved faster than the speed of light to avoid the laser.
Right.
Both girls run towards their teammate. Good work, Sam! He was a good fighter, but he couldn't handle our gadgets. Clover walked to the now-named Sam, helping her up.
Couldn't handle your gun.
I am a good fighter. If you think some small-time blast... Oh, I'm a good fighter. If you think some small-time blast like that will do me in, then you're very much mistaken. Agent Venom slowly got up, looking unharmed by the attack. What? But you... Oh no, my battery died! What? But you were down. I call cheat, screamed Alex. His face was one of confusion and slight fear. Cheat?
He
feels
confused.
You girls are you girls are teenagers. Why would someone send teenagers after me, Agent Venom?
Oh, wow. You
Doesn't
girls
make
are
sense.
teenagers.
I'm sure that whoever you girls work for has his or her reasons, but I'm not sticking around for you guys to try anything else. And with that, Agent Venom ran into the darkness while the girls stood there in shock. Girls? Asked Sam. Yes? Both asked. Did we just get ditched? Yes. Jerry's not gonna like this, is he? No. Okay. End chapter.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Alright. I think we've had enough Spider for tonight. As much as I want to see them get venomized.
As much as I want to draw that.
Hooray!
Thank you guys for watching Crossing Cast and helping to support us while we're supported because you guys watch our Crossing Cast, which helps to support us because you watch us and whatnot.
You sound just like a fan fiction writer.
Oh jeez, I hope a good one and not one.
I'm sure that's really quiet considering you're sitting like 3 feet away from the mic.
Sounds like a fanfiction writer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now we can point this out. You've had a big black blotch on your teeth this entire recording session.
Oh, it's okay.
Now the
It's
viewers
it's
at
an
home,
audio cast.
the viewers at home can see this with their own eyes.
Put in the thumbnail.
That's all that tobacco I've been smoking.
You're just like a superimposed picture of your mouth, like 40% opacity.
Disgusting.
Just put a big black blotch on the thumbnail.
What would you rate that?
I would give that.
I would rate that a latex venom symbiote layer over a latex skin tight suit layer over a beautiful teenage body.
I would rate it a actual hair dryer concealed anonymously inside of a skin tight leather suit.
I would rate that Teletoons with Marvel.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Canadian Marvel.
Yeah.
Captain Canuck. Coon.
Captain Canad.
I would rate that. I would rate that story that little stream of web fluid that didn't come from Venom's wrists.
Oh.
The stream that's made from a cartridge he attaches to his wrist with a lever that's just below the hand so that when he tries to grab or punch somebody he doesn't get pressed.
Just below his ball sack, so when he jacks his dick off, it doesn't go off prematurely.
When his balls slam against the thing, it shoots a web. It's just a black stream out of his ass.
God.
It's awful.
He fucking farts and just bursts this fucking cartridge
Like
out
half
of
his
his ass.
symbiote just like gets shot onto the wall.
Oh my god.
Are you suggesting he bare asses the symbiote?
Yes.
I hate
Ow.
this character.
How else will
I
he
call
do?
Stan Lee and tell him he made a mistake.
How else will he do a special move?
His capture beam.
Eddie Brock takes a really gnarly fart.
It's
and
Flash Thompson with no legs.
And the symbiote is so disgusted it ejects from his body.
In streams.
Yeah.
In small streams.
God.
Thank you guys so much for listening to another exciting episode. If you have any suggestions you want to hear, let us know in the comments below.
And as always, please share the podcast with your friends. We rely on you.
And your family.
And if there's anything you want us to read about or read with, people to read with, let us know. Maybe we're missing out on your most childhood treasure, your most treasured childhood treasure. We actually probably like it too. We like a lot of obscure cartoons here in the house.
We do indeed like the things that you just said, especially what you just said. We like to make a podcast of which things that we are a favorite of. When you share it. For a bonus and our giveaway, you have to share this with your friends and family in a run-on sentence.
Oh yeah, the rap battle.
Yeah.
Stop!
I'm sure it's not long.
Ah!
I thought I deleted it, but I didn't. Thank goodness.
You got it.
Okay. Epic. Oh, I can't read the title.
Epic.
Just.
Come on.
It's not called Epic.
Okay,
Don't
the
look up
beat is
Epic.
Superhero featuring Beyond the Limit instrumental. Steven, play it on your iPad.
Where is it?
Don't look up Epic on fanfiction.net at 3 a.m.
It's not 3 a.m.
It's almost 3
you're.
a.m.
I'm like.
It's
I made the same
superhero.
joke and I didn't get it. Alright, so what was it?
Superhero featuring Beyond the Limit
Instrumental.
instrumental version.
Beyond.
MIDI, so we don't get copyrighted.
Yeah. Video game cover.
Omega Beyond the Limit level. What the hell?
Superhero FT dot Beyond the Limit instrumental.
Feature. FT means featuring.
Yeah, I know. BT.
Beyond.
Beyond. Limit.
If you are a celebrity and want to come on the podcast,
I can't see.
send
I
us
can't
a
find it.
tweet or DM.
I know what that. I see featuring.
Just pick a song. I don't
Or
actually
email
care.
us at crossing.
I'm not gonna know.
Okay.
This will do. Epic rap battle of fanfiction.
I can't stop that.
SpiderMan versus Wolverine. Begin. The itsy bitsy spider. It doesn't even tell me which person's starting the rap. Okay, it's Wolverine.
And this.
The itsy bitsy spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Here came my foot and made lots of blood. The itsy bitsy spider was left to die in the cold. It was very tragic. You already lost. Go pack your luggage.
You know how awful this sounds?
My MC senses a tingling. At the end of this wolf will be crying. With those harsh words, you don't deserve first class. In fact, your lyrics don't match this bass. You still haven't let a thick skull of yours. My lines will be remembered for hours. You have no chance against this Spider-Man. I alone will take down the entire X-Man. No, he won't!
Unsubscribe from the podcast! Unsubscribe! The show's over!
Show's over.
Goodbye!